But I'm not gargling nuts. Not tonight anyway. Okay, but let me take a drink and lubricate my throat. And so, yeah, they're banging in the pool. There's fucking orgy going on in the pool. Gotta clean the pool.
Yeah. If the movie has any redeeming quality whatsoever, it's his fucking robe. Crapulé.
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 This whole story is crapulé. Welcome to What the Suck. I'm your host, Chris. And right next to me, in person, as always, for the most part,
Live and in living color.
in living colors, my boy James.
What's up, everybody? How you doing, Chris?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Still recovering from last week's horrible review. Those of you that went and watched the movie, please let us know what you thought of it, because we are very, very interested to see what other people think of No Exit. It was
Devastating.
as much as I tried, I could not drink enough to get it off my memory.
Nope.
So, but this week I am pretty excited about this the movie that I picked because it's our first 4th of July themed movie.
And it is quite a bit better, actually. Much better film.
It's still a college art film,
Yeah.
but it's not as serious.
No.
No. So today we're watching Re-Elected. It's a 2020 horror film directed by Max Radbill, which I don't think it's a real name, but it sounds fucking awesome.
Rad Bill.
Radbill, Max Radbill. Writing credits are Eric Looney and Max Radbill. Again, I think these are fake names. Music by Kaz Circuits. Yeah, these are all fake names. And then makeup department. I want to give a special shout out to makeup department Becca May, because the practical effects are pretty good in this film.
Yes, they are. And like I said, we don't even get makeup effects credits very often in our, in our credits.
In our intro. No, we do not. I did want to note that it's also won an award. It won a Hollywood Blood Horror Festival Award for Best Feature by Max Radbill. Again, that's such a weird name. I don't know what the Hollywood Blood Horror Festival is, but they won an award there. So,
oh Lord,
congratulations. So what's the film about? Well, it's deep in the woods of the 4th of July. Deep undercover.
That's right.
Deep in the woods on the 4th of July, siblings Nate and Angela must face off against zombies of American presidents and their worst nightmare, spending an entire evening together.
Yep. What I would, well, that'll come later, but they used the wrong presidents, in my opinion. They could have chose better presidents
Than the three most infamous ones?
Yeah.
Really? Which three would you have chosen?
Oh God, let's see. Clinton.
Okay. who's not dead.
Clinton, who's not dead. That's true. They have to be
dead. Yeah.
I guess they have to be dead.
Yeah.
So never mind. We'll get into that when we actually get down.
Well, I would have chosen Kennedy. I think he would have been a funny zombie. Nixon would have been a funny zombie. And, And then probably I would have chosen Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, yeah.
Ronnie Reagan. Yep.
Yeah, he would have been a scary looking zombie.
That's right. I didn't think about it. Like I said, they got to be dead first.
Yeah, because Clinton can't be a zombie if he's not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
one can wish.
Yeah, well, he'll die at some point, so don't worry. They'll all die at some point.
He'll be a zombie at some point. Yep.
Hopefully sooner than later. Okay, so I think that's it for the intro. There's not a whole lot, again, because it's a independent film. But this one, unlike the last independent film we watched, No Exit, that one was done as really an artsy sort of thing. Like, he was really trying to provide a message, or provide like an experience with his whole black and white in hell type of
well, he provided me with a case of hemorrhoids. That movie fucking sucked.
Damn, that shitty, huh?
Yeah, that's shitty. But like I said, I know we recommended people watch it, but god dang.
Yeah. This one is independent, but it does not take itself seriously in the slightest.
No, it does not. I can definitely tell. We could tell that right off the bat.
It is 100% fucking spoof. And while there are no titties, unfortunately, there are some on-screen kills.
Yes.
So I've got the kill meter ready to go, propped up, ready to go.
Sweet.
What do you say we go on and review this shit?
Let's do it, brother.
One if by land, two if by sea. You fuckers are here to party with me!
Stop. The sun's still up.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Holy George Washington's ghost. Because George Washington's zombie.
We're not talking about zombies.
Huh. Well, I'm talking about zombies.
Yeah, he's been talking about zombies all night.
You raise an army of the living dead, but your pride and stupidity are still the biggest threats to our safety.
How sure are we that this isn't your fault? This all seems like America tried to teach you a lesson.
What lesson? Don't get killed by zombies?
It's a great lesson. Nate, you should do something. What am I supposed to do? He's the first president of the United States of America. You don't get it. Washington. Lincoln. I mean, shit. Andrew Jackson is on the $20 bill.
Do you even know who Andrew Jackson was?
So first off, I want to say I love the little intro title card that says Leaflet McGillicuddy. Yeah. Love that name.
Yep.
And then you get the little cat meow at the beginning, which is awesome, which is like a play
cat,
on
the cat growl, yeah.
Yeah, on the MGM.
On the MGM line.
Again,
yep.
I love it. It's great. But it starts off with this woman driving in the middle of the woods. When her car breaks down, while she's stranded, she drops her phone and is attacked by someone in a wig who we don't really see who it is.
Turns her name is Jennifer.
Right.
I believe her character's name.
Yes, we find out later her name is Jennifer.
And it's too bad there are no RTs. I mean, she's a little bit bigger girl, but she's cute.
I mean, there are a lot of cute girls in this movie.
Yes, there are.
But none of them get naked.
No.
But she gets her arm pulled off in the very first awesome on-screen practical effect.
Yep, she's hanging onto the seatbelt when this thing grabs her, which you don't know what it is at first.
No.
But
you just see a giant-ass wig.
But this is one of those, like you said, 12 hours earlier kind of movies, you know.
Because we cut away to a title card that says several hours. So it's very SpongeBob.
Yeah.
2 hours later. So several hours earlier. We get a montage of... I'm just going to play it from here because I'm going to go off my notes. We had a montage of someone who's later identified as Nate, the main character, setting up for the 4th of July party. And I love his sign that says, Happy 4th of July, motherfuckers.
You got to love it.
Gotta love it.
Hell
love it.
yes.
Already, just in that first few minutes already, I'm like, yo, I'm fucking sold.
Yep.
Yeah, because now I want a sign that says, Happy 4th of July, motherfuckers, for my next party. And then we see some people that are driving to the party and they get stuck in the mud. We find out these are Angela, who is Nate's girlfriend.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry. Angela is his sister. Mary is his girlfriend.
Yep.
And then Marcus, who is
a complete douche.
Like he's supposed to be the
he is so fucking funny though, but he's stupid funny.
He's supposed to be the stupid stereotype you see in these movies, but he takes it like fucking beyond stupid.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, there's no way that someone this dumb
the car gets stuck. They're on the way to the party. The car gets stuck. He gets out and he starts looking around. He says, I think the wheels are stuck on both sides and blah, blah, blah. He says, I'm going to check the tail lights.
Yeah. And then he gets in. He's like, okay, so I'm going to start the car and you fidget with the AC knob. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
what?
turn the knob from cold to hot and cold to
Yeah.
hot. And she says, "Why don't I get out and fucking push?" But what's funny is there's another scene where it comes around. He says, "I'll check under the car," and instead of just stooping down and taking a look, he actually goes lateral,
Yeah.
and just drops to the ground.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. It's overacted, but it, like I said, at this point we kind of figured it out. That's what this whole thing is.
Yeah, none of
gonna
this,
be like.
none of these characters will be taken seriously. None of this stuff is taken seriously at all. But I do have in my notes that it is him trying to figure out how to unstick the car is hilarious. It's also a little special. I think he's a little special. His character's a little special ed.
Although it's a much better movie, this has a Tucker and Dale foolishness kind of feel
Yes,
to it.
yes, it's very much in that same vein.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except not as good.
But I also after that scene, we get our first full on screen of Nate in his outfit, and I have a quote that says, "It looks like America threw up all over Nate," because he is covered head to toe in the American flag apparel.
Yes.
Now, also, while we once they show up, we get introduced to the group, and we find out that Angelica, his sister, is like a hipster who complains about everything, about the
Yes.
beer, about the food, and then the group starts reminiscing about all the shit that they've been through. And then they ask her if Jennifer's coming, the girl from earlier,
Hennifer. Yep.
and we are told that also that Evan is coming. And
Evan, cool.
that's when the 45-year-old Evan shows up in his Mustang,
Yeah.
looking like
Zach fucking Bagans.
he looks like a douche, like the douchiest of all douches, and he actually is.
Now, what did I just say, though?
But Zach Bagan's not. I'm sorry, you said Zach Bagans.
I said Bagans.
You know who I heard in my head? Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Oh,
Zach.
Nope.
No, not him. Zach Bagans. Yeah. Okay.
no, he has that Zach Bagans kind of look to him.
He does. Yeah. So Nate and Marcus are
We're
playing.
gonna get sued one of these days.
Why?
We're just trashing all these people.
Oh yeah, but they don't listen to our show. They don't fucking care.
No.
Nate and Marcus are playing beer pong and having a hilarious discussion on which countries would win if the countries were cage fighters.
Yeah,
Which is a dumb conversation to have, but it's funny.
it is.
And then Evan shows up, walks in. Nate gives him a big old hug, and then he starts telling him. They were in the fraternity together, and he starts telling them to do the Beta Bros handshake.
That's
and
right.
The Beta Bros.
Beta Bros, dude.
Beta Bro handshake is them making the jack off motion. Oh, I fucking love. I was like, okay, I'm after that point. I was like, I'm totally fucking in. I am in with this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty damn funny.
So then the gang starts to party hard in like a short, like 30-second montage. Of them drinking games, all that shit. But I do have it in my notes that overall, this group is pretty fucking lame because they party hard for like a couple hours and then they stop and then they're just sitting there. There's no music going on. They're just sitting there talking, and it looks so god. It's supposed to be a 4th
It
of
looks
July
like
party.
lame as fuck. It looks like the morning after kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks like a regular weekend house party, not a 4th of
Just
July
people
party.
hanging. Yeah, a bunch of 50-year-olds hanging out. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, so it's Angela and Evan are on the couch, and Evan's he's trying to put the moves on Angela. He's like tickling her and talking to her and trying to hit her up. And Nate walks in, he's fucking plastered. So then Angela starts to have an argument with him about him drinking too much. Again, lame group. Why are they talking about drinking too much at a fucking 4th of July party?
It's like, you're my sister, blah, blah, blah. She keeps making emphasis, half sister.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
she makes that throughout the entire movie that they're half sisters.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, although his character's funny, he's kind of he's a
he's-
dingleberry.
He's very, very immature for sure.
Yes. Everybody knew somebody like this in high school, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah, there's-
absolutely. A couple people at least that were like that.
That's like, if you've ever been to a high school party and just sat in the corner and observed, everybody in this movie will represent somebody you knew at some point.
They're all exaggerated cliches
Yes.
of people you knew people exactly like this. Like you knew Evan, who was like this wannabe, like he was like a wannabe. What do you call it?
Prep style.
Prep
you know?
style. Thought he was all
Yep.
that and shit, and he was just fucking a douchebag. And he knew Nate, the partier, who didn't want to do nothing but drink and party all the time.
Yep. And then I guess Donk over there, or whatever his name is, Marcus. He's like your dumb jock type.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's a big boy. He's just stupid as hell.
And he says a lot of really
Very
dumb
ignorant things.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
And it's not on purpose. I don't think he's very educated. His character is not.
Yeah.
So while they're arguing, God damn it, while they're arguing, Angela brings up their dad. Nate gets all pissed and storms out, and you'll find out why later.
Yep.
Then we cut to the lady. We catch up with the lady from earlier whose car stalled. So now we're all caught up. Nate goes out and he goes to this room where there's all of these pictures of like the presidents and like all this. Okay, this is where I started getting big vibes of Evil Dead.
Yep.
Because, you know, for those who know in Evil Dead, they show up at the cabin and they find this professor's work on the Necronomicon and on this table. They start going through it, seeing all the paperwork, and then they find the book of the Dead. And that's exactly the sort of scene that comes here with Nate and all this America and president bullshit that he sees on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs a copy of the Declaration that's in there.
Yep.
And he takes it back out to. So let's preface real quick with the fact that Nate is a patriot. He
Yes,
says
he
that
is.
several times, and he's like, "I'm going to have a 4th of July party because this is America. And we're having an America party.
That's right.
And you're ruining." And he's bitching at his sister, who is the more mature one. Who he's like, "You're ruining this America party. It's all about America," and that's why he brings in the Declaration.
Yeah, he's like the stand-up hardcore American patriot. She's like the lady walking around with a vagina hat on protesting.
Yes, exactly. And so he comes back in. He starts reading off it, which again is clearly an inspiration from Evil Dead when they play the tape of the professor talking about the Deadites and then reading the book, the passage from the Book of the Dead.
Yep,
very much so, because as he's reading it. The ground starts to smoke outside and starts to shake.
Of course.
And then Angela points out, or he makes a reference about, he's like, "Look, it's signed right here by George Washington." And she points out that George Washington signed the Declaration.
That's John Hancock, dumb shit.
So, but then he puts the Declaration down on the table, and then Nate grabs $1. He's like, "Look, George Washington," and he slams it on the Declaration, on the document, and the dollar starts to glow.
Yeah. And you don't forget, they spilled beer on it, too.
They spill beer on it, which, by the way, the beer
is the trigger agent.
Is trigger agent because when Angela reads the ingredients, the first ingredient of the beer is Americana. Yeah.
Yes, and you have to have Americana to make this thing work.
Exactly. So he gets pissed. He pushes her down, and she drags the document on, along with the electronics that are on the same table, off as well, and unplugs the power strip. She then throws a 5 and a 20 at him because
she's just being a smartass.
Those are the only 3 presidents he knows. He knows Washington, Lincoln, and Jackson because
they're on money.
Because they're on money. That's all he knows. But then they end up on, and I think this is why they're the 3 that come out of the ground, because they touch the document, which is covered in the beer. And gets shocked with electricity when he's reading the document as well.
Now, don't look for explanation here, folks, because it doesn't really tell you how reading this had any effect. It doesn't really, it doesn't fill that in. It just fucking happens.
Well, and it doesn't also. So she
beer-soaked money on a copy of the Declaration of Independence.
Suddenly,
a little bit of electricity, and all of a sudden, you've got zombie fucking presidents coming up out of the fucking ground.
Yeah, and she leaves. So she leaves, and he plugs the power strip back in and blows the fuse. Mary tells him to go apologize. He doesn't want to, but he says he'll go do it after he gets the fuse fixed. And we cut to Mary in a room with Evan talking about Nate, and that's when Evan, the Zach Morris, that was the guy I thought you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Zach Bagans dude, trying to put his super lame moves on him. Then we cut to Marcus, who's in the basement with Nate, trying to fix the breakers. And as they're doing that, Marcus sees something and starts to get scared. But then you cut to Mary trying to get a hold of Jennifer on the phone. She hears Jennifer's phone go off outside, opens the door, and that's when we see her standing there with one arm. And then she falls, and behind her is the zombie of George Washington.
George motherfucking Washington.
What I'm trying to figure out, again, I probably shouldn't look too deeply into this, but
That was a long walk though, because if he raised him from the dead, that means he had to get out of his crypt at Mount Vernon and walk all the way across the fucking country.
well, that's another thing they don't explain. How is it that Washington, Lincoln, and Jackson just happen to be
In the ground, out there in the woods, outside
all
their
three of
fucking
them?
cabins.
Although I think that's explained later when they do send Washington back, because they send him back into like a hell pit,
Yeah,
because he's like a big.
Yeah,
and so
that's true.
I think
Maybe
I guess it just came up from hell.
I suppose.
But
Which pisses me off. I mean, you have to take this with a grain of salt. Don't be too serious. If you're a serious patriot, don't get offended by the movie. It's not to be taken serious.
If you get offended easily, don't watch the movie. Just go read the Declaration or something. 'Cause you have no goddamn sense of humor. So why are you even listening to this fucking show?
Yeah, true that.
My thing is, why the fuck does George Washington, even as a zombie, why does he have meat and bones?
I have no idea.
Shouldn't he be pure ash by now?
Ash or just bleached out skeleton. Yeah,
Just an empty coffin, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but he not only does his skin and bones survive, but so does his wig.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Although very, very poorly kept.
yeah. Again, we're looking into this too much. I think what it is, but I was like, no, there's no way that the presents. First of all, these three presents would be in this area. Second of all, that they would have any type of bones whatsoever or meat.
Yeah.
So while everyone else is oblivious, you've got Nate and Marcus downstairs trying to get the breakers going. You've got Angela and Evan. Evan trying to make the moves on her. Angela is trying to fight off George Washington Zombie, who I now call GWZ. Finally, Marcus and Nate go upstairs, and this is the fucking dumbest. So they go upstairs. They see Angela running around from this, or Mary running around from this zombie, or this George Washington. Instead of helping her, they get behind the counter and hide there.
That's hilarious, and they're talking.
And they're talking in not even in rushed tones.
I know, it's hilarious. They're like, dude, and they keep looking over and stuff. Now, I also want to make one quick note.
Yeah.
At about 31-36 of the movie, we finally get the title of the movie. I don't know why the fuck it was so misplaced. It was just displaced. It was just put like in the middle of the fucking movie. I was like, what the hell is this shit?
So the reason we get that, which is actually really funny, so this is during while Marcus and Nate are behind the counter talking.
Yeah.
And Nate thinks it's actually George Washington, and Marcus is like, no, it's just some dude dressed up as George Washington.
Yep.
And they're just sitting behind the counter talking. They're not trying to help her because they're fucking douches. Then they actually realize it's GW, and Nate makes a joke. Marcus makes a joke that he's been reanimated, and Nate makes a joke saying, no, he's been reelected. And that's when the title screen comes up. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
But what was funny is when they were sitting behind there, they were arguing and stuff like that, and all of a sudden it goes quiet.
Yeah.
For a few minutes, and I think Marcus turns over to Nate, and he goes, "Dude, did he get her?" And he goes, "How the fuck should I know? I was hiding back here with you." Now, that was a funny line.
Yeah. I feel like Nate has some of the more funny deliveries in this film because he's so over the top with all of his shit. Like, he's trying to be like macho, but he's so not macho in his own delivery that it's fucking funny as shit. Like,
it is.
Especially when he's running through the woods and he's just such a scared little bitch that he's like literally running.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Running like a bitch through the woods.
Yep.
He gets like all like super like scared of everything. So, okay. So then, another funny part is I forget how they get on the topic of like sugar. Yep. But they start talking about good versus bad sugar, and that's when like Marcus is like, no. Nate's like, oh, you mean like Splenda good sugar? And Marcus is like, actually Splenda's not very good for you. It's actually worse for you.
And they're discussing this while you hear a ruckus in the fucking background.
While Mary's trying to fight off GWC.
Which is hilarious. That is hilarious.
So funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. But she's able to escape the house. Mary gets out and gets to the car, but GWZ breaks the window, and then reaches in to grab her, but apparently the air conditioner was on, and the cold is like painful to them.
Yeah.
And so he he feels the cold and he like leaves. He like runs away. And she tries to leave, but the car stalls. Every car in this fucking movie stalls.
Does a car ever start in a horror movie when you need it to, though, Chris?
But some of these cars look like fucking brand new. Like
True,
fucking
but do they ever
No.
start when you need them to
They
start?
never
No,
ever do.
They don't.
So she makes it back to the house, starts vomiting everywhere, and then Nate and Marcus are trying to tell Angela and Evan, who come downstairs finally, what happened. But of course, they don't believe him. I mean, when you tell somebody that a zombie George Washington came up in your cabin,
Yeah, they're not going to sit there and go, "Oh, really? That's peculiar."
yeah, no. And then when they try to tell him no, but he killed Jennifer, whose body was supposed to be on the floor, they look down and Jennifer's body is gone.
Gone.
So then Nate, Evan, and Angela go into the woods to look for GWZ. And I have
GWC.
George Washington zombie.
I like it.
And I have my notes in here that Nate and Evan are pussies, and Angela is scolding them the whole time. Because,
Oh yeah, she's bitching at them while they're back there. They're cowering behind the counter.
Because this is when they go to the woods. This is when you first see Nate being a pussy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So like Nate's like, let's go get George. We should go into the woods get George Washington, and then it cuts to him in the woods. He's like, we should go back home.
We should go back home.
Yeah, and then Angela's like, what are you talking about? Don't be a pussy. And then Evan's like, no, I think we should go back home too. And Nate's like, see, he wants to go too. So the two guys, they're supposed to be the brave ones. They're the pussies. And Angela's like, no, let's go fucking find him, you pussies.
No, she's mean though.
She's tough.
Angela, she's tough.
She's a tough girl.
old gal.
Yeah. But then that's when she's scolding him and talking. That's when we get our next zombie, which is Abraham Lincoln zombie.
Abe.
Yeah. Who just starts going around saying, "Fourscore."
Yeah. Fourscore.
Again,
He looks like Windows from Fanboys. If anybody ever seen Fanboys,
the makeup on him is actually pretty horrible.
it's bad.
Yeah. Again, but I'm still trying to figure out how he, first of all, got there. And second of all, why he is still meat and bones.
Exactly.
But again, I'm thinking too hard about this movie.
Yep.
But I did have a note in here that he doesn't look like Abraham Lincoln. He just looks like a homeless guy.
Yeah.
He does. And then we get Andrew Jackson zombie, AJZ, shows up as well.
AJZ.
We got ALZ, AJZ showing up at the same time, along with GWZ in the cabin. So Evan grabs Angela and takes off with Abraham Lincoln, with Abe taking after them, while Nate faces Andrew Jackson. And he's mentioned several times in the movie that Andrew Jackson is his favorite president. Why?
Yep.
Because he's on a $20 bill.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. That's all he fucking knows about him.
And that's what and his sister even yells at him about that. That's all you fucking know about
Yeah,
him.
that's
He's
all-
on the $20 bill.
And it does. That's all he knows. It's like he's on the 20. He's my favorite president.
Yep. He means well, but he's a fucking idiot.
No, yeah, he is a fucking idiot. So he tries talking to Andrew Jackson zombie AJZ because he's like, you're my favorite president, and let's talk about this. But he almost gets his hand bitten, but then takes off running like a girl and screaming while Andrew Jackson chases after him.
I know. It's like, good God Almighty.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I also forgot to mention that AJZ has a rifle.
Yes, he does.
He has a musket rifle.
Yes, he does.
And it's funny because after Nate takes off running, Jackson just sits there and slowly reloads his rifle because it's a one shot.
Very slowly.
And
yes.
so he somehow, the zombie has retained the knowledge to reload his musket rifle, which I don't fucking understand.
Yep.
So then we get Evan and Angela run to the barn to hide, and Evan tries to sweet talk Angela because even in a time of zombies attacking, he's trying to get some ass. Because Evan is a douche. So, but he's sweet talking to her, telling him that he likes her and that he'll take care of her, and she decides that she likes him too. Goes in for a kiss, and then bam! At 43:38.
Yeah, me and you hit the same timestamp.
Nice.
That's cool because I got that written down myself.
Well, why don't you go ahead and discuss this one, James?
Well, all of a sudden, Zach Bagans' head, a.k.a. Evan, has his head completely severed by Lincoln, and she's kissing him and then all of a sudden his body starts to drop out, and she's got his head in his hands, and she throws it, and it is the worst. Oh my God, it's hilarious. I mean, it's obviously it looked like a wig head with some marker drawings and stuff.
Yeah,
little
it
makeup
looked
put
like
on it. Yeah,
like a high school paper mache project.
yeah, it did. It was horrible, but it's funny and a clean cut.
For
Thank God.
Yes, we finally get a kill
Finally get a
on
kill.
screen.
And very much on screen at that.
And even though we didn't see the head get chopped off, like it just all of a sudden was off, it was still pretty cool.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty neat.
And it counts.
And it counts because it's on screen.
On screen and dead.
Yeah, so she takes off, obviously, and runs into Nate, and they run into AJZ and and take
I
off.
love these names.
I know. I figured, you know what, these are, it's easier just to give them their initials.
Damn straight.
Take off, leaving her phone behind, and they're getting a call from Mary. They get a call from Mary on his phone, and they're fighting to get the phone answered. She hears it and thinks there's something's going on. Then we cut to Marcus and Mary in the shed trying to figure out what to do and decide to call the police. But this is the
my
scene that
God.
really pissed me the fuck off.
Oh, it did?
Yes, pissed me off.
Uh-oh.
This is a scene where I felt like Marcus was taking his stupidity to way beyond rational.
Yes, because I did note on here the 911 call he made was
Tell me about
funny.
it, James. Tell me about it.
Well, he calls the cops. They answer the phone. He starts trying to tell them about the story. We got zombies and this, that, and the other, and their police are telling him, sir, this is a federal offense to make it. And then all of a sudden he starts putting on a production.
Yes, that's
He sits there and goes, they're coming again. And then he'll change the side with the phone and he'll say, we're going to go through. He was going back and forth like they were doing Battle with Zombies. And
Yes.
then he started growling into the phone like a zombie and doing, oh my God. It was funny, but yeah, you're right. In a serious time, but of course this movie ain't serious.
No,
we know
it's not.
that.
No, it's
but at that time you'd be like, hey, send the cops,
Yeah.
we got shit, shit going down. But yeah, he puts on the stupid act and then he hangs the fuck up on him.
Yeah, it's like he's stupid, and his stupidness is kind of funny for the most part. But that, to me at least, anyway, that part kind of irked the shit out of me. Especially, I was like, Mary, you're a smart, tough woman. Why the hell would you let Marcus, who you know is dumb as shit,
But and that
make the
and
call?
then the way he keeps changing his voice and then he switches hands with the phones like it's gonna make a difference. and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
it's
I was
fun.
like, oh my God. I mean, it's funny, but in that moment, I was like, okay. To me, that was far beyond his stupidity. I feel like even he would be just a little bit smarter. But again, it works fine for the movie. It works perfectly fine for this movie.
Yep.
So then Mary realizes that the AC in a car is what saved her from GWZ. And they try to make a plan to get the car, to get it working. Cut to them at the car because Marcus says he has an idea. Cut to them at the car. For some reason, Marcus is wearing a female patriot costume, complete with skirt.
Idiotic.
And putting on a production while Mary is trying to fix the car.
Yeah.
Again, that's another scene. I'm like, okay, that stupidity goes like way over.
Yeah.
But I do want to say there was a funny line before that, going back to Marcus's inability or inexperience with cars. Mary's telling him that they got to get to the car and he can look at the car to fix it because it wasn't working, but maybe he can take a look at it. And his response to that was, "Yeah, I've seen a car or two." Again, just a simple line, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
So then Mary gets to work, and as they go in, Marcus gets attacked off and killed off screen. Which
Of course he does.
Nobody misses him.
Drug out, and he keeps coming back.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, this, that, and the other. Hey, this, that, and the other. I'm sorry to get out in front of the mic.
No,
but
that actually works perfectly because
but
that's how
'cause-
it's like. Yeah.
he keeps coming back to the window and he'll say something stupid and then he'll get grabbed and yanked back and then he fights his way back and then finally he's gone and done.
Yeah. Off screen, though, unfortunately.
Off screen.
Yeah. Then GWZ appears, grabs Mary by the arm, and as she drives off, Evan's head somehow lands in her lap.
I don't even know how in the fuck that happened.
Because who was it that killed Evan again? It was
Lincoln.
It was Lincoln.
Yes.
And at this point, the zombies hadn't met. I mean, Lincoln and Jackson had not met up with Washington yet.
No, they have not.
So how the fuck did his head make it all the way over there and land inside the
No
car?
idea.
Yeah, it
It's
makes no fucking
not
sense.
explained, but oh well.
Yeah.
I guess they spent so much money making that nice fake ass head
They wanted you to
that
see
they wanted it in the scene. Yeah, they said we need to have this head needs to have more screen time.
We need to show it as much as possible.
Yes.
Well, so Nate and Angela are still arguing out in the woods.
Which is hilarious because This is one of my favorite lines in the whole fucking movie.
Okay.
They're sitting there bitching back and forth, and she just basically tells him, "You raise an army of dead." You know, it says, "What does it say? You raise an army of the dead, but your pride and stupidity are still the biggest threat."
Yeah, and it's true. It's fucking true
Because he's such a fucking idiot. Oh, jeez.
I do gotta say I don't know the actor that plays Nate. I haven't seen anything before. I don't know what he's normally like, but he plays his part fucking perfectly.
Oh, he does.
Like he somehow exudes testosterone.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, go ahead. It went
And
away.
at the same time exudes pussiness all in one go. Like he does it. He switches back and forth perfectly.
And the screams and shit are hilarious.
Yeah.
He's just fucking funny.
He's funny. So then they end up dropping his phone. No, it's so funny because he's fighting with her and he's telling her, you know, be careful with it because it's his loaner phone or it's his new phone and it's very susceptible to breaks by rocks. And he ends up dropping it, but then it doesn't fall on a rock. Instead, he steps on it and breaks it.
What a fucking moron.
Yeah. And then they hear a roar and they take off. And then they're suddenly being chased by AJZ, who for some reason is running like a goddamn monkey.
Yeah.
You remember that scene?
Yeah.
He's he's down low and he's making the move, and I'm like, why the fuck is AJZ walking like a goddamn monkey? That makes no sense. He's a zombie, not a monkey. So they make it to the cabin, and that's when Nate has a breakdown. AJZ breaks in, and Nate goes to attack, but stops attacking because of movie for some reason.
What's that?
Nate goes to attack AJZ, but then stops again because it's his favorite.
Well,
president.
he's enamored with him, I guess. Or
yeah, he's his favorite president, so he stops attacking him.
Yeah.
So AJZ grabs him, but then they break Nate free and they run to another room. So then we cut to George Washington and Abe Lincoln in the woods, and now George Washington looks almost totally human.
He looks like he's recovered here.
Yeah. So I'm guessing at some point
he's regenerating.
As the night goes on, they turn, because at some point even Abe Lincoln is still acting like a beast. But then
maybe it's the blood when they kill people. Maybe it regenerates them. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. So he's talking in full sentences. He's talking with his accent, all that good shit. And he looks less like a zombie than ever. He looks just more like a dirty person.
Yes, he does.
So we cut to Nate and Angela, and Nate's telling her that he is so patriotic that he just can't bring himself to kill the president zombies because they are presidents. And Nate tells her that the 4th of July is so important to him because it was the last holiday they shared with
the last time he saw
their father,
and all three of them were actually together
and happy.
That 4th, yep,
yeah, which makes sense. Which is why it makes sense why it's such an important holiday to him.
Yep,
he's trying to relive that last moment.
Oh,
yeah, we get a little bit of a backstory of Nate. He's not a one-dimensional person.
No,
he's got depth to him. He's got layers to him.
Yeah.
So Angela gets the power back on, and again is attacked by AJZ in the basement. But she kicks the freezer open, which sends him down because the cold again affects him.
That's right. Because I was sitting there going, why in the hell is he scared of meat? I saw that all the meat in there, and then she throws all the meat on him,
and then proceeds to beat the hell out with the baseball bat because the cold like gets to him, so it knocks him down.
That was a point that eluded me. That's what the problem was. Now I get it. I was like, holy shit! Now I said, why in the hell does meat terror? Because I mean, he like jumped way the fuck back, and I thought it was the meat.
Yeah. No, it was the cold.
Because I saw him put a bunch of meat in the freezer earlier in the movie,
right?
Which wasn't really connected to anything. But all of a sudden, she starts throwing all this frozen meat at him.
Yeah, yeah. And so while they're arguing about it, you know, it's funny because he's still saying that he can't kill Andrew Jackson, and she's like, you don't even know which president he was, and he was like,
and she goes to explain basically what a piece of shit he was.
Right. Not only that, but she's like, you don't know what number he was, and he was like, I think he was more than 3, but less than 50.
less than 50.
It's like he doesn't even fucking know anything about it.
He's a moron.
Yeah, but she explains what a piece of shit he was. But then she reads a letter from her father, who's the professor.
Yep.
And the letter says the documents on the desk are supernatural. Again, taking from Evil Dead.
Of course.
Yeah. And the only way to banish them is to recreate the exact conditions in which brought them forward, which means they have to have Americana and the Declaration reading it in order to...
And the beer.
And, well...
That's right. Well, that's where the Americana comes from.
Anything Americana, but they think it's the beer because that's what
Yeah.
happened initially. Right. But... Angela goes upstairs and begins to try and recreate the circumstances and is attacked by AJZ.
Of course. AJZ is a persistent motherfucker.
He is,
boy.
man. He is like the most hardworking motherfucker of them.
Yes, he is.
He takes her outside to the others who tell her they want the documents. They want.
Oh, it's hilarious. Now, this part coming up is fucking hilarious.
Do you want to talk about it?
Well, what happens is Nate goes outside and...
Oh, wait. Well, before you get to that, I know what you're talking about because that was fucking funny.
Oh, God.
But let's get to that part. So they tell her they want the documents because he wants to live forever.
Yep.
And he wants to reinstate America back to the way it was. And
Yes.
she tells him, "Oh, so you want to reinstate slavery?" And he was like,
He goes,
"Slavery's
slavery went
gone?"
away. It went away.
And then he looks at Lincoln, who just like,
And
"Sorry."
then he shrugs his shoulders like, yeah.
That was pretty fucking funny.
That was.
And it was clever. It was
That
clever.
was clever.
Yeah. But then Nate is upstairs when he hears Angela screaming for help. He sees a picture of the family, and decides he wants to finally try and help. And we get a little montage, a little Evil Dead montage of a chainsaw. He grabs a chainsaw, he grabs a shotgun, he grabs the last 2 beers, chugs them down,
hilarious.
puts the shotgun over his back, wraps himself in an American flag.
And he goes downstairs, and he says something like, time to, oh, God, I forgot.
Hang on. Let's go to that part so I want to see what his exact line is. Because, yeah, that part was fucking funny as shit.
There's nothing perfect about this union. Motherfuckers. Forgot to put gas in that. No shells in that. Nobody move. I'm gonna be right back.
In order to form a more perfect union.
Happy Independence Day. Motherfuck! Go get it!
Nate, don't let him get the Declaration!
Get fucked, Abe!
Oh, yeah. And I actually want to talk about, before we get to the Nate part, Washington is telling her that he needs a declaration. But then they find another copy laying next to them, and Abe starts to read it, and it starts working. So I'm like, why the fuck do they need the copy in the house so bad if the one that Abe is reading works? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. And that's when she tells him it's not going to work because they don't have Americana. And he was like, oh, yeah, we don't have Americana. And he turns to her and says, we are Americana.
And his little eyes light up all yellow and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he keeps reading.
And that's why it works, because they are Americana.
Exactly. And then we get our boys show up with his chainsaw and everything. And
he says, there's nothing perfect about this union, motherfuckers.
Yep.
But then okay, go ahead.
And then he goes to start the chainsaw and says, oh, I forgot to put gas in that. And he throws it, and a cat screeches. There's some cat off screen, and he pulls out his shotgun and cocks it. He says, oh, no shells in there either. And he says, nobody move. I'll be right back.
He was so ready,
He was so ready to go, and then he says, I'll be right back.
Any shells or any goddamn gas in the lawnmower. That was
fucking stupid.
And
then he comes out, happy Independence Day, motherfucker. And he goes to say fuck. And Abe buries a fucking dagger in his thigh, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Because as he walks past Nate on the stairs to go get the fucking declaration that's inside the house.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, get fucked, Abe. Yeah. Now that was funny. The way he says,
again,
get fucked.
Nate is the funniest motherfucker in this movie.
Yeah, he is funny.
He's got great delivery. He's got some good lines too.
Yes, he does.
Oh my god, yeah, that get fucked Abe is fucking hilarious because he's so serious, and Abe just walked right past him.
Yeah, that was goofy as shit.
So he came out with a big ass fucking firework, but before he got a chance to light it, like I said, he got stabbed in the leg.
Yep.
And then they take Angela inside, or Angela goes inside, and Abe's inside trying to get the declaration, and he's on the porch facing off against George and Andrew.
AJZ?
That's right. AJZ and GWZ. That's right. And so while he's fighting with them, all of a sudden you get a thing off screen comes and hits Andrew Jackson right in the chest and knocks him backward, rips his arm off. And you see Mary has come back, and she's got some big ass fireworks with her.
I mean, huge. These fucking rockets are enormous.
Huge fucking ones. And so Nate escapes back inside. Well, Angela escapes from her ropes outside, and he goes back inside to take on ALZ, Abraham Lincoln Zombie. While Mary and Angela are stuck outside fighting off George Washington because the firework took out AJZ.
Yes, it does.
And so they're facing off against George Washington, but they trick him into turning around because movie, and knock him down, and they go back into the cabin where they see Nate has taken out Abe and grabbed the declaration. And then another funny part was where Nate is trying to apologize to Mary and say how much he loves her and how sorry he is, and her response is, "I think we should see other people."
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, but
what's
then
funny is this out of nowhere. Yep, they're sitting out their side arguing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, at good old 1 hour 12 minutes and 35 seconds.
That's what I got too.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Timed it. We get when Mary,
That's right,
takes
Mary.
a fucking hatchet right to the fucking forehead.
Right to the forehead. It comes off screen out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere and takes her ass out.
George Washington has chopped her head with the axe.
Yep.
Awesome.
She's all done because she couldn't launch the other rocket, so she didn't have the chance to move. And
Nope. And I have in my notes here, it's a great kill.
oh, it is a great
Yeah,
kill.
I loved it.
It's a good kill for once.
Yeah. So then GWZ grabs the declaration, tears it in half, which I don't understand because he wanted it earlier to be immortal, but now he tears it in half.
Yeah.
Again, not trying to find sense in the movie.
Nope.
But Angela tries to get George Washington to turn around. Oh, no, this is where they try to get him to turn around because he tells him the British are coming, whatever. He doesn't believe it, but he ends up turning around, and then they knock him down, and then Angela and Nate get the two halves back together and try to read it, but nothing happens.
Yep.
And then they realize that they need Americana, but since Nate drank all the beers, they grab AJZ's hand, which fell off when he got hit with the
that was
rocket.
funny. Yep.
Because AJZ is Americana.
And they just attach it to the side.
Yeah, and they start reading it, and it glows. and then GWZ starts getting dragged back to the pit of hell.
Yep.
And they're walking with him, and they see him trying to crawl to stay out of it. And that's when GW grabs Nate's leg, saying that I am Americana, and pulls off his leg just like nothing.
Yeah.
And drags it back with him to hell. Like just it pops off like a fucking like a G.I. Joe doll. Just,
I know. It's just, that's fucking stupid as
and what's
shit.
funny is that the whole time after that happens, Nate and Angela are sitting there apparently looking at the pit of hell because you see the red on their faces.
Uh-huh.
And he's just sitting there and he's smiling and he's talking, and all of a sudden he goes, "Did my leg just come off?"
My leg just come off.
Just all nonchalant, like, "Did my leg just come off?" Then it cuts to him waking up, and he's the ambulance is there.
Yep.
And he's missing a leg, and him and Angela make up, and everything's hunky dory.
And then we get a shot at the medical industry because the two ambulance drivers show up and they tell them, "Well, your insurance ain't going to cover this. It's going to be $9,240 for the ambulance." Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the reattachment procedure is probably not going to be covered either, and blah, blah, blah. So this was basically a stab at society as a whole, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, this whole movie was kind of a
It's a spoof, sort of like tongue in cheek at just
exactly
the ridiculousness of like just everything nowadays, and it's
Yeah.
and that's the end of the movie. It's just them talking to
much.
the
That's it.
paramedic guys.
we
That's
got
it.
2 kills, but hey, it counts. No RTs, but hey, I'll take, you know.
Yeah, and again, at least this movie was purely understood that it was fucking bonkers
Yes.
and didn't try to be anything more than what it was, which was a fucking a spoof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was again, and as we mentioned throughout the review, I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Everybody did a really good job acting wise, even the horrible zombie presidents.
Yeah.
But everybody kind of went over the top, but I think they were supposed to, and it really
Yes.
fit the theme of the movie.
It was supposed to be that way. Absolutely.
The story, you know, it was while it borrowed heavily from other horror films like Evil Dead and whatnot and Cabin in the Woods, it was unique in that it had the idea of the presidents coming back as zombies, even though none of that made any fucking sense.
Nope.
But it was hilarious. It was different.
But when the fuck do we want something to make sense?
Exactly. And it didn't try to bog you down in over explanation of how it's supposed to make sense. It just
This is true.
It happened, you accept it, and you move the fuck on.
That's right.
Yeah. And I enjoy that because
That's right.
Because I think if it had tried to rationally explain what was going on,
It erect it.
it would have wrecked it, because you would have realized that it was trying to take itself too seriously.
Exactly.
It's like, no, just grab the handlebars, hang on, motherfucker, and go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Again, Nate, my favorite fucking part of the movie. He was absolutely hilarious because you never knew what to expect from him. You see him at the beginning. He's like this buff dude who's putting this party together, and he's, like I said, it looked like America threw up on him.
That's it.
And he's like this party bro. But then later on, he's this fucking cowardly chicken shit.
Yep.
And then later on, he's trying to be the hero, but he's totally incompetent at it.
And the whole, like I said, and we're back to it, the get fucked Abe was hilarious.
Yes. And then the no gas or shotgun shells was fucking hilarious too.
Yep.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It's nothing serious, but I think it's something you can put on and have a good time with. I think it'd be a good 4th of July movie to watch, which
Oh, yeah.
you don't get very many of those.
No, you don't.
Not comedy ones anyway.
No, that is true.
You get a lot of serious ones. You get a lot of patriotic, like fighting the British ones, or
Oh, yeah.
Born on the 4th of July ones. But I'm giving this one a brown turd.
Brown turd.
Brown turd, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm pretty much in the same bucket with you there, brother. It's not good enough in my turn to take it up to a gold turd.
Okay.
This ain't one I'd buy, but this
No.
is definitely one I might own digitally, or perhaps at least keep it in my queue.
Yeah.
Definitely want to drink with this movie because, you Beta Bros, man. Beta Bros.
Oh my God, the Beta Bros. I want a Beta
Bros.
Bros t-shirt now.
That's right. And the acting was spectacularly corny,
Yes.
which was perfect.
Yeah.
The script was goofy. The story idea was good. The effects, when we got them, were fairly
The
decent.
practical effects were
Not
good.
too bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going a brown turd as well. I thought this was really good. It was very entertaining. It's funny. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a complete shit show when I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? And initially when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, maybe we can hold off on this and do a special. We do holiday specials. We haven't done a 4th of July one, but I was like, no, I don't want to do 4th of July special, because I don't want to end up doing a special for every goddamn holiday.
No, it'd be too much.
No, I think Christmas, Halloween, Easter, because there are a lot of Easter Bunny fucking horror films.
Oh, yeah.
I think those are fine.
The
but
big four.
Yeah, every other holiday can go get fucked.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, we're not gonna do that. Instead, we'll just make this the next episode, because it looks like it's gonna be complete shit.
Yep.
And I was pleasantly surprised by how much I actually laughed, which
Yeah.
you don't want in a horror film, but with our horror films,
Yes. It worked.
they make you laugh anyway.
Yes, it does.
At least this one was intentionally.
Yes.
And like you said, it very much had a vibe of Tucker and Dale,
Yes, it did.
which is another hilarious
Oh, God.
spoof horror film.
That's one of my favorites. In
Yeah.
the horror genre,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
And it had another vibe of, again, the vibe of like Evil Dead, which was another sort of spoof horror film as well, which cracks me up also. So yeah, it's sort of in that genre, but much less but much more independent and low budget.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you're going brown turd as well, huh?
Brown turd, my brother.
All right. Well, I think that's a pretty good upswing from last week's
Oh, God.
independent crap fest.
Yes, jeez.
Yeah.
Last week I was ready to ready to go find that director and hang him from a tree.
Oh my gosh, he seems like such a pompous ass, just for real.
Okay, folks. Well, if you get a chance, if you've enjoyed the episode, if you'll please go rate and review us anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you like YouTube, you can go to YouTube to our channel.
Yep.
And if you'd be so kind of subscribe there, we could use all the help we can get. Also, we do have a Patreon page. If you go to www.patreon.com/whatthesuck, we have the $7 jump scare, we call it. We got one level, one payment, and you get everything. You get our bloopers, you get our commentary tracks, you get our reviews of good movies, and special episodes of all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Lots of good stuff in there. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's getting late here. I had a lot of fun, but I think it's time to go and end the episode. This is Chris, and I'll see y'all at the next Shitfest.
Yeah, and this is James. If it ain't on What the Suck, it ain't shit.
Thank you.